Hello, hello, and hello. Welcome back to another star-studded episode of 901 Sports. And this evening we have the WNBA edition with a special guest, well-rounded on all forms of the basketball court, man. And she's did so much in that arena, none other than Shaun Gortman, man. We just want to welcome her, embrace her, because she has a remarkable journey. So, how are you today?
I'm well. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. So,
Good.
just wanted to, invite you on and, get to know who you are and how your journey started. So, when did you find out that you had this amazing love and gift for the game of basketball?
First, I'll say thank you guys for bringing me on the show. I think I was around 7 years old. I grew up in the gym. My mom was a gym director at Spires Recreation, and so I had no choice other than to go to the gym every single day. Whether it was after school, before school, after gym hours, that was just a part of my daily routine. And then I just grew to love for the game, and every day that was a part of my life. So basketball became my life.
Okay, okay. So, upon going to the gym with your mother and loving the game and embracing the game, so when did you really find out? Like, and you said yourself, I really can do this. I'm really good at this.
Honestly, I don't. I would say probably around 12 years old. Initially I was just playing the game for fun. And what most people don't know is basketball is not even my favorite sport. It's softball. So I was really good in softball, but it was kind of a transition as I got older and I changed schools. When I went to WJ Keenan High School, that was when I began to focus more or solely on just basketball.
Okay, okay, okay. Okay, so upon that, you find that you had a gift, and you just really advanced in the gift. Worked on your game, worked on your dribbling, your jumper, worked on all aspects of the game. Correct?
Correct, I agree. Yes.
Oh, okay, so great. So, Crystal, ladies first. So we'll go ahead and let you jump in there and ask the $1 million questions because I really want to hear what you got to ask for sure.
Well, first of all, you already took my question, number one. See, that's why I said I wanted to go first. But okay. Okay, so in the WNBA, who was the first player that gave you the business?
Gave me the business.
Yeah. If anybody.
Now let me add, I was one of the better defenders in the league. That was my job. As I transitioned from college, I became a defensive player in the league. You define roles, and so I wouldn't say anybody gave me the business, but there were a lot of great players. I can't say they gave me the business, but
okay, who's the best one you want to get?
I would say Simone Augustus was very good. And let me take it back, even to Dawn at USC, little Dawn. So, that was a challenge, but, I was able to do it. And that was one of my strengths. So, and I took pride in, being able to guard the really small people or the really big people, So I actually, did.
Okay. Uh-oh.
Oh, we lost her. There she go. Okay.
Can you? Hello?
Okay. Yeah, we hear you. Okay, now, so you watched Jailyn play when Keenan won 3 straight. So, what was it like being there at the state championship games? I'm sure
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay, so Jay, we're gonna go ahead and go to you. So it was a little choppy this morning, so I'm glad we can get you back on. And upon that, um, and upon that, this morning having you on, Jay. So where I left off at. So I want to know, as far as the mindset that you had to have to be on the championship roster and to win 3 championships. So what were your off-season mindsets to get better as a player?
For one, I can definitely say staying humble and knowing that there's always room to grow, and knowing that even though you're good now, you got to get better, basically.
Okay. So what aspect of your game did you work on the most? Was it your ball handling skills? Was it the 17-footer? Was it the 3-pointer? Was it your low post moves? Like, what aspect did you work on the most during the off season?
I can say I worked on like a little bit of all that, but mainly like AU season, Coach Han had me working on my ball handling and my shot. So, and then after I got my shot together, that's when I started, working into like the 3-point and stuff like that.
Okay. So, how important is it to you? And if you're coming up, you got young ladies looking at you that see what you were able to do with Keenan. So, how important is strength and condition? Doing strength and conditioning, and how important is a strength and conditioning coach?
It's very important because you got to be able to get up and down the court, or like sometimes I wouldn't even get out the game. So sometimes I have to play a whole game, and you just have to push through even when I'm tired. And yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that. So, do you guys have any follow-up questions for Jailyn?
I had a question earlier. I know I had asked her, and I wanted to ask it again just to make sure we got it on film, we got it on camera. I know you said you had mentioned you wanted to go to a HBCU, NC State, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And I think I asked you if you had the opportunity to go play with your teammates at another school, would that influence your decision?
I could say it might, simply because if I was to find out like my teammate was going to a certain school that I had the possibility of going to, then it'd probably be more comfortable simply because I already know how they play and I already know them as a player. So I would have to, relearn how they play. I already know. And yeah. But I think I can adjust to like new environments real well. So it wouldn't be that bad if I was to go like alone.
I got you. Have you visited any HBCUs outside of NC State? Have you got a chance to go to NC State?
I haven't had a chance to go there, but I was planning to visit to go there.
Oh, that's right.
But HBCUs, I've been to South Carolina State, but I've been on a lot of college tours, but I haven't been on many HBCU tours.
Okay.
Okay, so what school have you been to out of all the schools you've been to, or is on your radar, or have so interested you? Like, what's the biggest school out of all the big 5 power schools that showed interest in you?
I haven't been on a official visit yet, but I'm supposed to be going on one soon after spring break when they get it, like, because college is on spring break right now. So after spring break, I'm supposed to be going on a visit to Spartanburg Methodist, I think. Yeah, that's
okay.
Okay. And then also, what do you feel like going from high school to college? Is like if you're watching the game, as you watch the games on TV or whatever, what do you feel like would be your biggest challenge going from one level to the next, just by watching the players, at the next level?
I feel like it definitely probably would be the strength and conditioning, and just having to because they move at a different pace than high school players, so it'd probably be that mainly just the conditioning and stuff, and just having to pick up on the pace and just playing up that speed. That's probably the main difficult thing.
Okay, so like earlier, just a follow-up question. I know you said your main school to go to was A&T. So as far as the culture of it and what you've seen culture-wise to be able to acclimate yourself and fit in, Because I know that's a lot of the things we, as a freshman, to be able to fit in with the school and the other students and all of that. What did you see, or what have you seen in that particular college that make you feel like, as far as like the social scene or just the moving around part of it, that you can that it'd be easy for you to kind of just fall in, to be able to fit in?
I feel like just the environment in general, like overall, like whether it be the athletics, whether it be, just everyday life, I feel like, and I've seen like a lot of like videos and stuff like on social media, and I hear like a lot of good things about it. And I'm just ready to go on a visit just to get the full experience, just to see for myself, because sometimes social media can like, make things seem like what they're not. So yeah.
Just do me one favor. Go to Albany State homecoming.
You said go to who?
Albany State University. Go to their homecoming.
Where is that?
In South Georgia.
South Georgia. I was looking at school. I was looking at school in Georgia too.
Yeah. You enjoy their homecoming. Any HBCU homecoming, really. If you go during homecoming,
they look like they be turned up. They be lit.
Yeah, it's going wild.
Yeah, and I love a party. I love a good party, so I definitely want to go.
Yeah. Cool. I'm with that. So you guys
go ahead.
Won the state championship, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have you got fitted for your ring yet?
No. I feel like we probably gonna end up getting fitted next week, because usually after we win the championship, the week after that, it'd be real easy. Like we basically be out of class all week. Like we just be having fun.
Oh yeah, you on top. You on top.
Yeah, we
of the
basically
world.
just be having fun the whole week. Like last 2 years ago, before Corona hit, we had won the championship, and we had like a big like water fight, like all the athletes and stuff. We had like water guns, water balloons, water hose, all type of stuff at the school. And then after that, it was just Corona, so we didn't come back to school. So I feel like that was a good way to leave on like.
Oh yeah, winning make it everything better. Winning always make anything better, regardless of what you're doing. Winning gonna always make it better.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what's up.
Crystal, you got any questions?
No, I don't. I asked my questions earlier. I gave my
Okay, so what from like extra activities, things that you want to get into, as far as like maybe giving back, or being able to like to get into the community things, or whatever, things like that. What kind of activities and things of that nature that you see yourself getting into in the future?
I can see myself doing like fundraisers stuff, because I love animals and stuff like that. So I can see myself like doing like fundraisers and stuff to like raise money for like shelters, and what's the word for?
I got you. Like when animals don't have anywhere to go. I got what you saying. Yeah.
Like shelters and stuff of that nature, and like just
so that's your like your
patients.
So that like your so let's say after your basketball career, whether it ends in college or ends after the WNBA or overseas or whatever, do you see yourself like owning a veterinarian, being a veterinarian, or owning your own pet shop? What do you see yourself doing with that?
Definitely, I love animals. Like that's what I'm going to school for, to be a veterinarian. So I could definitely see myself opening up my own pet shop, or like even like even like if it's just at home, I can definitely see myself dealing with animals in the future, like in general.
How many pets you got now?
None, unfortunately, because my mom won't let me have any pets. Like,
oh yeah, that's right. Well,
I had a dog, and then somebody stole my dog, and then after that, I didn't get no more pets. I want to because my mom, she is really a dog that she don't want me to get,
right?
Because that's like having to take care of another baby. But I love animals. Like I want a hamster. I told her I want a snake, a hamster, a spider, a rabbit. I want a bunch of stuff. Yeah. So I'm just waiting on it. She better give me one.
I'm on mama's side.
Right, like no on that spider, no on that snake.
Right. I saw her
baby a puppy
or a rabbit.
Okay, I could do a rabbit.
Cool. Yeah, I did. I know one just wanted to kind of talk about the current. We getting ready to go into March.
Women's college basketball tournament or the men's tournament. Do you have a dog in the fight, or who do you see winning on each side of making it to the Final Four? Who would be your Final Four teams?
I can definitely see, because I just seen this earlier on social media. I can definitely see Kentucky in the Final Four, the girls team, because they played like a really good game against USC earlier, and they won. Like the buzzer beater. What's her name? Drake. She hit the buzzer beater. I was like, oh my god! I was not expecting to win, but they won. So usually it's the underdogs that win. So I can see them in the Final Four for sure.
You said Kentucky?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. What about the men's side? Have you been keeping up with that at all?
I catch a couple games here and there, but I don't really keep up with the men's college as much as I keep up with the girls.
No, because you said you wanted to go to state, and I see state is like a top 5 team this year.
They are?
On the female side, ain't the state like top 5?
Okay, I thought
top 10 or something like that.
A&T.
Because everybody said I think they're in the top 10, so they might have a legit chance of getting there.
So you said South Carolina State, or are you talking about?
Okay. I'm thinking about North Carolina State, but you was talking about you want to go to South Carolina State.
A&T.
Oh, A&T.
Okay. Got
Ain't nobody going to North Carolina, Icon.
Huh?
Ain't nobody going to North Carolina, man.
First of all, I had a nephew go to North Carolina State. He in the NFL right now, so don't be hasty. But anyway.
Okay, so
I like the Baylor girls, man. I like the Baylor girls. Baylor girls have been real good. I don't think anybody will beat USC, but I do like the Baylor girls.
Oh yeah, Baylor for sure.
Okay, so Sean, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, Krista, you can continue.
I don't know where I was at. Steve, you can go. I'm gonna come back.
It wasn't my fault, Crystal, but you were asking about the best players in the league. Wow.
Yeah, you were the best player you went against, and you were saying Simone Augustus. Well, did you play with Sue Bird?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. She's still in the league. Like she's old.
Gotta love still hanging in there.
Yeah. I think this is her last year though.
Yeah, I think so.
Do you know anything about the Brittany Griner thing? Did you see that?
I mean, from what I read, but I mean, personally, but tough situation. You know, I think it has a lot to do. I mean, her situation with what's going on. Obviously, she's leaving the country,
right?
Because of what's going on with Russia and Ukraine. So, I don't know.
Thought you had the inside scoop. You was gonna give us an exclusive.
I wish, but like 2 days ago, and I'm like, oh Lord, oh no, Russia ain't the place you want to be.
Right.
Listen, man. Listen, that's the right person to call on. Oh Lord.
Yes.
Right.
So inside of prayers.
Sean, I did have a question. I know we.
Hold on, Steve. Hold on.
Oh, go
Steve.
ahead. My bad.
My question. So you know how they've been putting out how the women were asking for more money, the WNBA and stuff. Can you tell King Jacob what the women really asking for?
More money.
I mean, if like they're not asking to be compared, get paid like the NBA players.
No, I mean our league is shorter, so you only playing 3.5-4 months. So obviously it wouldn't be the same, but comparing the salaries, as opposed to men where they're making millions, and being I ain't gonna say the last player on the team, we don't, players in the league don't even make what the last player on the men's NBA team makes. Which, when I was coming through, we kind of understood because it was a new league, but as it's evolving and revolving, you get more sponsors and stuff, the money's going to, it should better play. Better. As opposed to the men, most of the women there, they, like Brittany Griner, she's in Russia now because she plays year round. plays WNBA and then she leaves to go to Russia. And may I add, Russia is one of the biggest, pays the largest amount of money to America. So a lot of the top dominant players are actually.
Okay, those are my questions.
I did have a question to kind of segue off of that, because I know recently they had something that came out where the WNBA team had charter flights and they were threatening to disband this team because of the charter flights. How do you feel about that? Do you think it's really a competitive advantage for them to have those charter flights? And do you think that the punishment that they're talking about warrants what the action is or what they did? Do you think it should be that severe?
No, because I think the men, and let me be honest, when we got into SEC play, we didn't fly commercial anymore. So it's kind of like something that you're used to. I don't think it gets advantage. They be able to rest better. It's not crowded playing and you have more legs. But I don't know if that's an advantage or you're just taking care of the athlete.
Cool. Okay. And then I did have one more question. I know you was at USC. You was a star at USC. What other school almost had you, though? Who else almost had you besides USC? Because I know we were talking about Jailyn and her recruiting. So I just want to know with you, same thing. Like, what other school almost had you?
Well, my top 5 in the end: Rutgers, Kentucky, USC, Clemson, and North Carolina. I was recruited by, top D1s, but, I chose you for obvious reasons. It's home. I wanted my family to be able to see me
play. Okay. So I do have a question. So upon what Crystal said, about, the WNBA, which is very interesting to me, I just want to know that, is the sponsorship on the up and up with the sponsors, or, is it just not enough ticket sales, why y'all don't get more money as y'all have been asking for quite some time? Like, so what's the whole ordeal, with them not getting a salary so they don't have to go overseas and play?
Well, I think obviously when you have a new league, you have to build and, you have to build your sponsorship. I can't say the games are packed because there are many people that go to the WNBA games. Like even when I played, they were packed. So I can only imagine right now in a while. But it's not because of the fan base. I know ticket sales, what you would pay for a men's game. That's part of it. I would say due to the sponsorships. As opposed to the men, I'm not sure about, the NBA, but a lot of the players, the top players make most of their money off of endorsements. So just, getting the league or having the sponsor like the NBA, come in and say, hey, we're going to take care of you guys, because they can afford to do that. It's just getting those big sponsors in there saying, hey, we see what you're doing, deserve more, being able to give the ladies more, women more.
Okay.
A lot of people don't watch games, but they do. I think it's, a lot of people that didn't watch it like back in the day, I think they're starting to watch the women play a little bit more. It's more fundamental than men's game. I was having a conversation, and that was the point that they realized the women's was as fundamental as it is.
Okay, so upon that, me and you, to discuss, a few things, and I just want to know, as far as you, when you being in the league, what team did you enjoy playing with the most?
I would say, I think they all were different. I think the team I enjoyed the most was Seattle, Seattle Storm. Just
Okay.
the coaches. I would say Seattle Storm.
So was it the whole vibe, or Was it how you got along with the coaches and the players, or was it just the energy on the floor on how the chemistry was with the players that you played with?
I would say the overall vibe of this of the team. The chemistry was great, but it was also off the court. Doing things with your teammates. Whether it was having a cookout, having meetings, even team meetings. Just the overall vibe, just feeling like it was a caring and loving atmosphere. I think Seattle gave me that.
Okay, cool. So, since you're South Carolina native, I want to really talk about, your experience as a USC Gamecock and your experience academically and on the basketball court and how those two go hand in hand, to really build that character while you're in college as well. Because when you go off to college, mom and dad ain't there. So your character has to elevate as far as because nobody's holding your hand. So how was that experience for you?
Initially, believe it or not, even though I was home, I still got homesick. I still wanted the home meals, so had to kind of get used to living on my own. As far as academics, you had to, time manage your time yourself, and that was the biggest thing for me. When you're at home with mom and dad, they're telling you what to do when you need to do it. In college, you don't have saying, "Hey, you need to study." You need to study for this, or you need to get to class on time. All of those are responsibilities. So, you know, being that all that help you to a, a well adult, it helped me even when I got into the workforce. Hey, I need to be on time for work early, if that. I would say early because on time is late. In the basketball world in college. So it definitely or set me up with all the life skills that I would need to survive in corporate America.
Okay. So, I'll let the next co-host take the next question
I
and
have a question.
But I got a question. I got a question.
Go ahead, Icon.
So I know the NBA players talk a lot about their GOAT, whether it was the old school players saying Kareem, or older players saying Kareem, and some say Jordan. Then you got the newer generation that say LeBron or Kobe or whatever. So who do you feel like is the greatest player or the GOAT in the WNBA? I know they said any player from Stell Sweet to Cynthia Cooper to Donna Taurasi, I think was like the mainstream vote lately over the last year or so. So who do you feel like the GOAT is in the WNBA at this point?
Maya Moore.
That's tough because I think every era was different. When it first started, you had Cheryl Swoops and you had I would say Swoops. I would take Cheryl Swoops. Um, in this era, I would definitely say Diana Taurasi. I would say she can do it all, and she's done it all, and it's seen through her accomplishment, and she definitely made it better. So I would choose.
okay.
Okay. Go ahead, Steve.
I don't know, man. I like again, I'm probably a little bit younger when it comes to NBA. Lisa Leslie was always, what I mean,
Oh,
the
definitely.
baller for me. I grew up watching a girl named Maya Moore. She did it all. We played against her in high school, and now she's killing the game right now. So yeah,
Well,
I like
I,
the WNBA.
go ahead. I agree with you with Maya Moore. I just feel like she didn't play long enough.
Yeah,
Right,
wish she would
right.
have kept playing. I do, but I guess because I watched her in high school dominate, like going against us in high school, it just give me a different appreciation for her because we had some girls that could ball, and she dominated that game so bad in high school. Man, it was just nasty. It was like she was a different player. It really was like watching LeBron against a whole bunch of the dudes in high school. That's how she was in high school.
Well, Sean, who your GOAT in the NBA? Well, of this era. Let's go with this era since you said every era is different.
I would take LeBron. I would take LeBron on and off the court. Only because, we were talking about character earlier, and I think his character speaks for himself, as well as on the court. He does a lot of amazing things, and of course because he's LeBron, but I would pick him every time. He brings a lot to the table. His strength, his IQ, the way he manages his team. I think, and he plays basketball the right way. I watched a lot of this generation. All we see, or this generation, these kids really, get the oohs and ahs, but he plays the game the right way.
Yeah.
You're mad at him because he made that pass and his teammate missed, but it was the right pass.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so I would choose LeBron.
And so I do have a question for you. And this is a question that's gonna raise my eyebrows because people don't ask it.
Uh-huh.
Who is the female GOAT of South Carolina high school basketball?
Like right now.
Like I'm saying, period.
Come on, Jailyn.
Period.
Go ahead, Jailyn. Speak
Again,
on.
we have to go back to eras. Now, I see argument all the time. It's Lada, it's Wiley. My name comes up sometimes, but it depends on the era because everybody, like people in this generation, don't know what my era is like. So they're not gonna say me, or they're not gonna say Alexander. You got a lot of great basketball players, so you only know what you see now, and you can't. Unfortunately, with our class, you can't go back and look at on the internet and find Shaunzinski had a triple double, or Shaunzinski when she did this. You're not gonna see that. So it's biased. It's just depending on what area, what you've seen, and what So,
Okay.
but to go back to Tweet, Malaysia for a while, a complete basketball player. I will say that she's great and she's very talented. And I think as she goes to, gonna grow even more as a player.
Okay. I just wonder because a lot of people don't even ask that type of question. We always talk about the men, the boys that play basketball, but we don't ever talk about the females. So I just wanted to ask that question because that question always raised some eyebrows. So
you could have said yourself. You could have said yourself.
Yeah.
No, again, I'm very humble, but it's not because I know what I've done. And the thing about me is my mom always told us, you might not always recognize for what you do, but the one thing nobody can ever take is gift. And eventually it's gonna see and somebody's gonna recognize it. And that I've offered that all my life. So I don't really get into the rewards, awards, any of that stuff. I don't care about any of that. That type.
Jailyn, what was your answer? I'm sorry, what was Jailyn's answer? I wanted to hear her.
There she goes. She said it before he even got the question out.
I said Malaysia for Wally. Like right now, definitely Malaysia. And I'm not being biased, but like truly, that's like even if I didn't play with her, that would still be my answer.
But even though you may not be being biased, would you be the one that go? Would you be the one to go and do your history and see what other players that went to that school or went to Eau Claire or went to Keenan or went to Airport or went to Brookland Cayce that was really that deal? Or are you just saying it because you played with her?
I'm not saying it because I'm talking about because how you said all it's different eras and stuff. Like right now in this era, I truly feel like not being biased. This is like if I did play with her, I feel like that still would be my answer simply because she a great player. Like she's an all around player. Like she can play every position. She can do a little bit of everything. So
yeah. Well, I mean, she is that deal. She always on the news. So I mean, I can understand why you say that. I can understand why people would say that. You know what I mean? But a lot of times, man, a lot of people don't really understand. Like basketball now is great because when we grew up playing, we didn't have 1,000 scouts at our games. Like y'all got that deal going, boy. Like y'all got deal. Listen, man, take advantage of that because y'all got that. So when it comes to her, yeah, she is that deal. But y'all have played against some girls that's that deal too. For real.
We have played against some good people. We have it's a lot of talent in South Carolina, like women's basketball. It's a lot of talent in South Carolina in general on the boys and girls side. but she probably one of the best players I done met. One of now. It's a couple, but one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And let me ask you, it's not a lot of girls that stay in the gym, but she is definitely right, and she keeps the ball in her hand.
And so, son, I'm glad you said that, because earlier I asked, Jay, I was like, how important is strength and conditioning? And that's we do a lot of podcasting and a lot of interviews and stuff like that, but that's the one thing. And I know a lot of coaches, they talk about the defense, the offense, they talk about the breakdown of the playbook. They talk about who's the best and what they can do and what they bring to the team. But it's rarely I hear a coach that really talk about the in-depth of strength and conditioning. And so I would like for you to chime in on that strength and conditioning topic.
I think that's one of the most important things. I know, you again, I agree with you. A lot of coaches don't focus on that, or they have, 1 or 2 days or somebody that they go to in school. Like, I think they do class like strength and conditioning classes. But I feel like every coach, at me as a coach, we do plyometrics, we do, strength as far as working on your core, because your core is the most important thing. If your core is weak, you're a weak player. That's just point blank period. So I think to incorporate that into your team's routine or weekly practice routine, I think that's very important at the your team and your players. It's your longevity playing sports. So I think that's very important to add to your team.
Okay, cool. And so, guys, I tell you that me and her talked about the youth today, via phone conversation, and we also talked about, the mindset of the youth, and we talked about the structure of coaching and teaching the youth. And she works with a lot of the youth right now, and so Shaun, with doing that, what is the process of working with the youth and really getting them focused and really to bring out, that special skill set that they have? You can see it in them, but they don't know it's in them. So how do you really bring that out of the youth, and like, what is the process of you working with the youth and really building that relationship with the parents as well?
I feel like, for one, as a coach, you have to recognize talent. It's not gonna always be the go out and pick. But you have to be one that can be able to build someone strengths and weakness. I mean, build someone strengths off of their weaknesses. What that means is that you have to be able to take a player, break it down, and you have to focus on the fundamentals that would make you a better player. Not just going in like running plays. You have to break the player down. Hey, or as a team, this is what we need to work on. But I think the key thing in there is that you have to stay. You have to keep. I mean, you have to. I'm sorry. You have to develop fundamentals. You can never get away from that. Even when they become older in high school, and I think it starts young. When they're in rec, you have to take kids and drill fundamentals, and then as they go older, you add more to the game, but at the same time, you still don't get away from the fundamental aspect of the game. You know, as far as building a relationship with the parents, just it's just having these conversations and to realize that, hey, this is what my daughter needs, and I tell them all, it may not be, you're not gonna. Most people think fundamentals are boring or it's slow or not, what I need to work on. But at the end of the day, what you're gonna realize when you go and you go up against stronger, faster, more athletic players, your fundamental is what's gonna go. And if you
Okay.
don't do that, then it's gonna take away from your game. And some of those may be more.
All right. So Now, I will tell you this: everybody on this podcast right now, as far as the host and the co-host, we always talk about this AAU circuit, and me and you spoke about it. And so I'm gonna go ahead and let Miss Crystal go ahead and start this conversation off with this AAU circuit, and the advantages of it, the disadvantages of it, and how it gets coaches more in tune with their players so they can prepare for the up and coming season. So, Crystal, you can go ahead and start it off.
Yeah, well, what are the advantages of AAU?
Well, I think in this area, AAU, I was explaining to Jacob earlier, is that like when we were coming up, it was a coach recognized you through high school and camps. Well, that's not the case anymore. This circuit is you have these big exposure, and you have all the coaches, D1, D2, and they're all in the building at the same time. You have 30 floors in the gym, so they're just going all day and they're watching all these kids play, and that's how they find players. Now, after you're recognized on the circuit or an AAU, that's when the coaches come to school to see you play. But I feel like now, if you're not on the AAU circuit, 9 times out of 10 you're going to be looked over because nobody are. Now, I'll add that I think social media plays a big part in that. Once you get it out there, social media helps with the process as well. And a lot of coaches do rely on that. I'll say coaches, Twitter. They go to Twitter. That's how they keep up with all the kids that are playing.
Right.
What's going on?
So, what's the disadvantage? Do you think there are any disadvantages to AAU?
The circuit is huge. For example, one tournament you may have 800 teams, 30. Of course, every coach they're not going to see every single team. But they hit and miss. Like your team's playing over here. But my biggest thing is that eventually somebody's going to see you, but it's just when and how, and because a lot of times they are looking for specific players, but it might be that one game you're playing the team that they're looking for looking at this player, then they see you.
Right.
I don't. The disadvantage is it costs a lot. It costs a whole lot of money, and you
Yeah.
dedicated in order to I look at it this way: would I rather pay for my kids' college tuition, or would I rather pay AAU now and they get?
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, Steve.
So I know you said some of the advantages of playing AAU ball, but do you think playing AAU ball is more important than a kid playing multiple sports? Like me personally, I felt like playing multiple sports kept me prepared for my upcoming season in wrestling. I did wrestling in high school. That's what I was big on. So playing other sports just helped me kind of stay in shape, and I didn't burn myself out with wrestling because I just did that year long, year round. I didn't go from Greco-Roman, to back to the regular freestyle wrestling. I actually left and went and played baseball, played basketball, and then when wrestling season was close, I would definitely hone in on it. Do you think that playing multiple sports is still good for kids? Or do you think that they should just focus on the travel teams and stick with one sport?
No, I'm a fan of multiple sports. I actually played multiple sports. I actually played,
Volleyball, softball. I think I got you at you got something else you played too.
I ran track.
Track, that was it, yeah.
I think it wakes up all the muscle groups, so I think you should indulge in different sports. However, I think in these days, like back in the day, you play basketball. It wasn't year round. Like there's no dead period right now. Even though I played multiple sports, I still played travel basketball. So it can be done. It's just in the way that you do it. But you have a lot of coaches now that say, okay, well, if you're going to play this sport, then you're not going to be able to play this sport. Now, I don't agree with that personally because I think you should play multiple sports. And everybody on scholarship. So you may need that other to pay for your school. And a lot of the mid-majors or D2s, that's how they, the kids get free scholarships. it's multiple sports. So I don't think you should take that away from a kid. And also, I think that it prevents injuries. I think the kids are
Yep.
getting more now because they play that one sport year round and they never let those muscles rest.
That's what I was gonna ask you. Okay.
Okay, I got a question. Um, now we on here we talk a lot about old school basketball versus new school basketball, and the one thing we talk about a lot is the fundamental things that players don't do today. The simple things like a 3-on-1 break. Instead of you pull up for a three, you take it to the basket. Or like I'm watching my niece play middle school ball. They don't even know how to sit in a chair right as far as guarding a player. They don't know anything about spacing. So I feel like on not just the AAU circuit, but just in that level on up, they're not being taught the fundamentals anymore. And it seems like they're way behind the eight ball because I remember when I played in middle school that we was taught the fundamentals before you was taught anything else. Before you just was taught how to shoot the ball, anything, you was taught fundamentals. Is that what you're seeing in AAU? Or am I wrong? Am I missing something? Or how do you feel about that?
No, I think that's a worldwide problem. Again, I think as a whole, we've all gotten away from the fundamentals of basketball. You see a lot of great kids, but you don't see a lot of great footwork or, a lot of, the IQ is a little bit different. I'm watching games now and I'm like, well, you should have did this, but the kid really doesn't know. But then I also watch on the sideline, coaches don't correct it. So I don't know if they don't know either, but, it's just, no, I'm not being funny. I'm just saying it's just, you got to be passionate when you got to. I feel like great coaches, you got to break the game down, and I'm not sure that a lot of coaches can break the game down and say, oh, this is what we got to go back to, and all these plays. But sometimes you got to go back in order to move forward, and I don't think a lot of coaches do that.
Mm. So I would say this. I got a nephew. He's about 6'4", about 310. He played center in high school. He played the low post, but I was explaining to him. I was like, bro, you gotta know how to use that pivot. You got to use that pivot in that low post, bro. Like it's so many low post moves you can do if you know how to use that pivot, man. And so, not to be, you know, I always send him old clips, you know what I'm saying, of players that used to use that pivot, like Elijah Warren, like Kevin McHale, just to name a few, like a Brad Dorothy or, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, bro, you strong, bro. Like, bro, you squat 700 pounds. You know what I mean? I
Mm-hmm.
said, so your strength, they can't move you off the block. You know what I mean? Like they can stick their elbow in your back all they want, but they can't move you off the block. So when you fake right and go left and go around them, they're not gonna stop you from dunking. But I said, man, in the low post, if you're not gonna dunk the ball every time, you got to maintain and use that pivot foot. And so, and what I see a lot of players in his era right now, they don't know anything about their pivot foot. Would you agree or disagree?
I agree with you. I agree. I would add, I think, not putting everything on coaches too. As a player, if I go back to when I played, I don't remember exactly somebody being in the gym and say, hey, all right, pivot foot, this is what you need to do. And of course, I did at some point. But as you play the game more and you go out there and play with, me as a girl or a female playing with guys and they're bigger, they're stronger, you kind of naturally pick those things up. But this era, I don't think the kids play basketball enough. They don't go in the backyard and, where you don't have any out of bounds and you just playing until it gets dark and you can't see anymore. I don't do that anymore.
You're right. You're right. And
Yeah.
I can tell you this: the best games I ever played is been on a dirt basketball court. For real, for real. For real, for real. So you're right about that, man. Like I told you earlier on the phone, wherever all the bicycles were, that's where everybody was playing ball at.
Yeah.
I can remember going up to Crystal's hometown in Greenwood, and the Saluda boys, the Newberry boys, the Greenwood boys, the Promised Land boys, everybody at Stockman Park. You know what I mean? So I can remember them days where all the little cities, the little cities surrounding counties got together, man, and they ran ball all day, man, and just played. And so as we went to the high school games and people playing against one another, they already know one another. You know what I mean? Because everybody used to play together in the summer tournaments, and we all played, you know, like in softball leagues together. So everybody know one another. You know what I mean? So I just don't think, you know, kids have that experience these days because we had fun with it. Now everything is so serious. Like they're really, really serious. You know, like I've been to a few AAU games, and listen, I'd be looking at the parents with a blank stare, like, man, leave these kids alone. Let these kids have fun, man. Like this is their one shot, man. Like, stop it, man. Like, we don't have any nurses in the building. So if you blow a vessel, man, I'm hoping they got a couple first aid kits, man, because man, like the way you yelling, you're gonna instantly get a migraine, man. Like, calm down, let these kids play. You know, like you don't have to be going off on like that, man. You know, cause like they just be going off, man. And you know, I didn't had kids come up to me, man. You know, be like, hey, Mr. Jacob, man, just my mother do the most. She just do the most. I can't even concentrate, man. I'd be like, just calm down, man. Take a deep breath. You know what I mean? And just go out there and do your thing. But sometimes I think that a few parents can go overboard when it comes to the children, man. Let the kids have fun. You know, like let them get out there, do what they need to do. Let them network with one another. Let them have fun. You agree or disagree?
I agree wholeheartedly, but you know, I think it depends on the organization. Because in my Infinite Dreams, you can't do that. Like you can't coach.
Okay.
We both can't coach. So it's gonna be one or the other.
Right.
You know,
So you old school. I love it.
Yeah, you gotta set those boundaries, man, because you see it all the time. You know, I'm telling the kid to do something, you want them to do something. I'm like, nah, we both can't coach. So, you know, I take it back. We all sign a packet. Hey, you read the rules, you agree to these rules. You know.
Okay. So Jay, you had something to say?
I can definitely second that. I can definitely second
Jay, we take cell phones at 11, 12
Yes, every night. Oh my God. They take our phone. She took our phones every night. So we could, like, for team bonding and stuff.
Yeah, that's
So
the way it should be.
So having your phone is a privilege. It's like a treat. Oh, okay, that's what I'm talking about. That's what That's what's up. That's what's up. So
for games, we had to wait till after the turn was over to get them.
No, you wait till after the first game the next day, and they can get their phones back.
Yeah, and then especially if we had like early morning games, sometimes we'll go probably like hours without our phone.
Coach, I need my phone for my music. I gotta get my mode right. Coach, I need my music in my phone.
Got music in the car.
And so, Coach, you know, upon that, Sean, you know, we actually talk about the insight of your nonprofit and what it stands for, man. And congratulations on being a new 50C13, man.
Thank you.
And so with having that and you're building, you know, not only just play on the court, but you're building them academically, you're building character, and you just building the structure of how to become productive citizens in life. How important is this nonprofit to you to impact the community?
It's very important. One is a passion of mine to give back to the community because somebody gave me, and I just want to be that vessel to, you know, instill great values and, you know, for one, be a great role model for the kids that are coming through. Basketball is just the vessel that I use, but it's bigger than basketball. So it's teaching life skills, and you know, it's just not about the ball bouncing. It's what you're gonna learn from the organization as a whole, not just, you know, going out playing games. And I tell my kids, oh, bigger than that. You know, you some games, you do some. End of the day, when you walk off this floor and you're not playing anymore, what did you take with you? What can you use when you go out into the real world? And so I really focus on those. And, you know, that's very important to me.
Shaun, what's the name of it? Our Dreams?
Infinite Dreams.
Infinite
It's,
Dreams.
Dreams.
and I Dreams is just the acronym for it stands for I am determined, responsible, educated, accountable, and motivated on to success.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Right.
Thank you.
And so this question is for Jay. Jay, so what has been the impact that Coach Shaun has made on you, and to really get your mindset right? You know, now that you're finna enter college to play on a collegiate level, and now you're about to meet different people from all walks of life, and you're about to have to, you know, have a new coaching system, you know, that you're about to embrace. And so, how important is that to you, and what does that mean to you by working with Coach Shaun for these few years that you have been?
She definitely helped me she definitely helped me understand that statement that what's the saying people be saying? It's like hard work beats talent when talent fails to work hard.
Yeah.
She definitely helped me realize that because you don't have to be the best on the court, but if you working hard and if you doing what you got to do and what you're supposed to do on the court, it's definitely gonna pay off. So she, you know, I love Coach Shaun. I love you.
Yeah, got it. So, Crystal, Steve, are there any follow questions y'all have to say? Excuse me, before we take off.
I have one, and this is backtrack, and maybe not so much in the girls' game, but do you think Steph Curry has been bad for basketball? Like, you know, shooting the three or whatever. Do you think it's been bad for basketball?
Okay, I'll say this. I don't think Steph Curry has been bad for basketball. I think it's created a lot of bad basketball just because people want to imitate him. You know, a lot of kids see Steph Curry, so they want to shoot at half court. You know what I mean? But Steph Curry worked all these years in order to build up to that part. You know, we're skipping where I got to work. And once I get there, maybe I can do what Steph Curry do, but I'm not quite ready yet. So I don't think Steph Curry himself, but watching him creates a lot of bad habits in our youth.
Gotcha.
Okay. So, upon saying that, I just want to know this, and you know, I talk about this a lot with fellas, with chicks, with the women that play ball, the women that coach, the fellas that coach, and with the old school cats that used to, you know, coach and not even a referee. A lot of the old heads that I know, and you know that I still talk to on the sports level, they say this, Jacob. They said, Jacob, I feel like basketball now has a lot of people playing out of position. I said, what do you mean by that? They was like, bro, I was a center. I played their position. I was a pop. Like I didn't want to be able to shoot a three ball because we had 3-point specialists. They did that. That's all they did. They taking 500 3-pointers a day. You know what I mean? Just getting their game right in the summertime. So we didn't have to worry about it. I worked on my low post moves or I worked on how to box people out. So, you know, so I can have 7 offensive rebounds and 8 defensive rebounds. Like, so do you feel like the coaches let a lot of players play out of position nowadays?
I don't know if I would say. I think it has evolved into more international game. You know, they've been doing it overseas. You know, just from playing overseas. You know, their post, their big men always shoot the three. So I think that's one way. I think that's one way we pick that up. But also, you know, I'm a fan of. I teach my kids how to do everything. You know, because you just never know. But I think you have to define roles as a coach. This is what you're supposed to do night in and night out, you know, and then as a coach, you have to be able to say, you know, hey, you're doing a little much, or, you know, I need you to do this a little bit. And I think that eliminates all of that. I don't know that I see, well, when you say out of position, sometimes I've seen say, a guard in the post. You know, maybe this kid was once a big person. Was big when they were younger, and then they stopped growing. But you keep them in the post. Now that's out of position. So that's why I
Well,
said,
I mean, because but the reason why I say that, Sean, because I got a cousin by the name of TJ Daniels, right? And we was in school. TJ's like 6'3", about 230. You know, strong as an ox, can pull an oak tree out the ground. Like, but you know, he had a little 17-foot jumper, but he also always held the biggest man on the floor, and he used to shut them down. Like
mhm.
he was 6'3", he was shutting 6'8" people down. Like so. I used to be like, man, bro, you the same size as a guard. Like you don't feel like you're out of position. He was like, hey man, I always played on the block my whole life. That's what I know, and I just developed the 17-footer. You know, so that just made my low post game even more threat. And I was like, so I know you can handle the ball because I seen you handle it. He said, nah, man, but you know, this is what I play. You know what I mean? I've been playing this since we was in rec league. And so, I mean, a lot of people thought he was out of position, but the low post is what he played all the time at 6'3".
Yeah, and I think you have special players that do that. You know, if I like my game, like if you look at me, most people think I'm a post player, but I was a point. You know, so it just depends on the person, I guess. But you know,
Mm-hmm.
again, I'll say, you know, you need to work on all aspects of the game. I think coaches should incorporate that. Like, hey, you know, you work on everything, but you find the things like within or the strengths within your team, and you focus on those things.
Okay, cool. That's all I have. Oh, one more question, and I'm pretty sure Christopher want to know this too. How was it? How different was it transition from the WNBA to going overseas? You know, because you play in different places overseas, and
Right.
so how was that different for you on the court and actually seeing how they do things overseas and were you guys treated like celebrities overseas? Because I'm pretty sure most sports players are. So how was that different for you from playing in WNBA?
That was the life. You know, if you ask Americans, they're going to choose overseas as opposed to the league. You know, you're well taken care of. You know, I think I should say, you know, you have a lot more freedom. You know, you are the team, whereas they only have 2, 3 Americans on your team, so you are the team. So if you win, everybody gets in. If you lose, you lost. So you know, but you
Mm-hmm.
know, it's not so much of an adjustment on the court. It's just small things where the lane is, you know, more triangular, post box, you know, but it's just basketball. So I don't
Okay.
really in a big adjustment, you know. Now off the court, it was the life. Had a great time. As long as you got your job done, you know, you were able to enjoy, you know, what you were doing.
Okay. Okay. So I mean, I'm just so glad that I finally got the look. Cause I had been telling, you know, Icon and you know, I think I had mentioned on one of our podcasts, Chris. I was like, you know, I really need to interview somebody from the WNBA. Like they just give me a different perspective and you know on how it works. Cause I always want to know how it works and how the seasons were and then I also want to know would the WNBA ever get a G League?
That's an interesting question. I mean,
I think they should. I mean, but that's just my personal opinion.
maybe eventually. Um,
Mhm.
I think I would say it's a larger pool of men as opposed to women. You know, like I mean, it would create more opportunities, but I don't know, you know, how soon that could happen or if it would actually happen. You know,
Mm.
just 'cause, you know, we expected to play overseas. You know, if you want to make more money, then you know you just go season. And honestly, as a player, you know, I would I preferred playing overseas more. So a lot of WNBA players look forward to going overseas.
I
So
heard. I heard. I heard.
diversity, you know, just learning about different cultures and stuff. You know, that was the biggest thing for me. You know, just going out there, all different cultures interact, and you know, just being able to learn new things. You know, whether it was basic stuff or religious. You know, I was in Israel, so that was one of my favorite place to play. That was like being at home.
Okay. Okay. Interesting.
Ooh, yeah.
So, do you guys have anything else? And Jay, I want to say this before I give it to Crystal and Steve. I want to say this right here, Jay. I look forward to seeing you playing HBCU somewhere. And just know, I just really need some courtside seats. I need some exclusive.
Okay.
I need to, have my press pass on, come back there and interview you and the team. I mean, I need to be at the homecoming, like, because you done came on 901 Sports, so we family now. And
Okay.
so, we gonna treat each other as such, you know what I mean? And Sean, listen, man, I was telling my sister you was coming on today. She said, shut the front door. That was what she told me. She said, shut the front door. So she was like, oh, okay, yeah. She was that deal. Upon coming out of USC, she was that deal. So you have a lot of people who've been following your career for a very long time, man. For a very long time. And now we know that you're back on the home front. You're coaching, you're doing the AAU thing, and you got a nonprofit. So we definitely gonna support you for sure.
I certainly
No doubt.
appreciate it. Thank you for
No
reaching
doubt.
out to me. What you
Oh
didn't
yeah,
know,
oh yeah.
you were texting me but you was also texting Jailyn's aunt, but she was sitting right next to me. That's why I sent you that text.
Yeah. I was texting both of y'all.
Yeah.
The Dr. Sean. Yeah. I was texting both of y'all. I was like, somebody gonna answer. So, but yeah, man, I'm glad you did. I really appreciate it. So, Steve and Chris, y'all have anything else before we close out?
I don't. It was a pleasure, though. I'm one of the people who have followed you since USC, so it was a pleasure meeting you and interviewing you.
Oh, thank you, Crystal. I appreciate you.
Yeah, same here. It's been an honor to talk to both of y'all. Definitely appreciate y'all coming on the show. If you do, both of y'all, either one of y'all, please give the people y'all social media, give the people anything they can to reach out to y'all, your nonprofit. Let them know how they can reach you. Let them know how they can reach you too, Jailyn, as well.
I'll go first. My Twitter handle is Jailyn Oree, capital J, capital O. So yeah.
My nonprofit Infinite Dreams is iDreams 2012, and that's going to be on Instagram and Twitter. My personal link is Shaun_32 on Instagram, and on Facebook it's Shaunzinski Gortman.
Cool.
All right. You have it first. 901 Sports exclusive. With the with the coach and the player, man. That's what I'm trying to tell you. The coach and the player, you know what I mean? Like, this is hot tea. And we've been sipping today. We've been sipping today. So I want to thank y'all for coming on. I appreciate everybody's time. And man, y'all stay up, y'all stay blessed. And most of the thing I can tell you, stay away from COVID-19.
Thank y'all for having me.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. Peace out.
All right.